Hi guys, this is Miss Whitehurst and we are ready for week 6 of online learning. I can't believe that it has already been 5 weeks and that we are jumping into week 6, but let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to talk about your standard and learning target. We're going to do a quick recap of last week. Then we're going to introduce our poem that we're reading this week and go over your weekly tasks and your usual attendance question. So we are still on the standard RL 3.9, which is analyze how a modern work of fiction draws on themes, patterns of events, or character types from myths, traditional stories, or religious works such as the Bible, including describing how the material is rendered new. You do have a different learning target this week, so let's take a minute to go over that. Your learning target is analyze how a poem draws on historical events, themes, and religious works such as the Bible, including describing how the material is rendered new. So this week we are going to be analyzing a poem and making connections between the historical events, themes, and religious texts as well. Last week we read about Harriet Tubman's involvement in the Underground Railroad, and we compared it to the biblical excerpt of Moses freeing the Israelites. We made connections between how Moses and Harriet led populations to freedom, and we analyzed why people occasionally referred to Tubman as Moses. If you didn't pick up on that, I do have a piece of evidence here. This is from the Harriet Tubman text we read last week, and it said, "Once she had made her presence known, word of her coming spread from cabin to cabin. The slaves whispered to each other, ear to mouth, mouth to ear. Moses is here. Moses has come. Get ready, Moses is back again." So again, there was that strong correlation between Harriet Tubman leading slaves into freedom and comparing that to when Moses led the Israelites to freedom. This week we are reading a poem called "Runagate, Runagate" by Robert Hayden. If you didn't know this, runagate is a term for a runaway slave. And in this poem, the term runagate also refers to Harriet Tubman specifically and symbols in general of freedom and emancipation. This historical poem portrays the tumultuous world of escaped slaves and ultimately depicts the fundamental human impulse toward freedom. So that essentially means that this poem is talking from the perspective of a slave that is trying to escape. You will see Harriet Tubman referred to explicitly in this poem as well. And the poem is about the struggles that slaves faced and the struggles Harriet Tubman faced on their journey toward freedom. While reading this poem, I want you to consider the point of view of a slave running towards freedom, the different struggles that they faced, internal and external struggles, and make connections between how each text depicts Harriet Tubman's efforts. So when I say each text, that means you are going to need to refer back to the text that we read last week. Okay, so the Exodus excerpt and the text for Harriet Tubman, Conductor on the Underground Railroad. Make connections between this week's poem and those texts that we read previously. Your task for this week, after you are finished watching this video, you need to make sure that you complete your attendance question. Then you need to read or listen to the reading of "Runagate, Runagate." You need to consider the rhythm of the poem and how it mirrors the slave's fight towards freedom. Okay, so that means while you are reading the poem or listening to it, look at the rhythm that the poet created and how is that rhythm directly related to this idea of running towards freedom. Make connections to each text portrayal of Harriet Tubman and her efforts in freeing slaves. Then you are going to complete your annotations assignment through Google Slides. This is a little different than anything we've done previously. You do not have a discussion board post this week. You only have the Google Slides assignment. So I did create a brief instructions video before you do that, just in case you are confused or need a little help. There's a highlight tool that is something that you may not have used yet, so the video helps show you how to use that tool while you are annotating online. My expectations of your annotations are the same as if we were in class. Remember, you're going to be annotating every 2 to 3 lines, trying to make your inferences, make your connections to the other texts, and really trying to dig deep into this poem and understand both the literal and figurative meaning. Okay, so I would make sure to watch that instructions video before you complete that assignment. Again, you do not have a discussion board this week. You only have the annotations assignment on Google Classroom through Google Slides. All right, the last thing I have for you is your attendance. Make sure that you go ahead and complete your weekly attendance through Google Classroom. Respond to the following question in the comment section to show me that you watched this video. What has been your biggest achievement in quarantine? What are you the most proud of? Did you learn a new skill? Did you do something that you didn't think was possible? Or maybe you're just proud that you've been avoiding all of your quarantine snacks. Whatever it is, tell me what is your biggest achievement since being in quarantine and having this time at home. Again, it's crazy to believe that it's been 5, 6, 7 weeks since I've seen you guys, right? I want to know, what are you proud of? All right, so good luck this week. Again, if you have any questions while you're working, feel free to reach out to me through email, Remind, or Google Voice. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.